Okay, so welcome everyone. Um, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Loretta Carraro and the creator of Nourished Energy. And basically, I wanted to share with you guys today about my journey, my business journey specifically, but also I wanted to really share with you some insights that I've found over the last almost 4 years I've been in business, and also just some tips and tools for you guys to take away as well that have really helped me. So I hope that they will help you as well. And as I said, if you've got questions or you want to jump in and comment or anything else, just let me know. I'm really happy to answer your questions as we go. So I'm breaking this up into basically building the foundations. So really talking about, because it's a really, really important part of your business, whether you are just starting out or you've been in business a little while and you're ready to take it to the next level, that is going to be really good for you. And the next part after that will then go into the real tips and tools and things that I feel like have really helped me along the way. And the good part is that I've made all the mistakes, so I get to share them with you and tell you what not to do as well. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from this place of just wanting to really share my insights with you guys. I've made heaps of mistakes along the way, and you know, I also really believe that as light workers, we should be thriving, right? We should absolutely be thriving. We're doing incredible work. And when we're coming from this really beautiful heart-centered space and living in soul alignment and really just wanting to share our gifts with the world and helping to raise the vibe of the collective, like, why shouldn't we be thriving? So that's what I really want to share with you guys today. I want you guys to thrive as well. So I'd love to know if I'll go through and you can do thumbs up, or if you want to write in the chat, that's all good. So I'd love to know, first of all, how many of you are just starting out? Don't have any clients yet, just starting out. Okay, cool, awesome. How many of you are just thinking about it? Maybe you're still studying, or you're thinking about going out, becoming a practitioner or coach or something like that. No? Okay, cool. That's good. And how many of you have been doing this for a little while and now you're really ready to take the next leap? Yeah, cool. Okay, awesome. That's good. Just gives me a little bit of idea of, again, how I can sort of skew the content as well. Okay, so let's just give you a little bit of background in terms of my story and my mistakes, my biggest mistakes. So basically, I started really learning and really deciding that I wanted to delve into this professionally around about in 2014. So that was when I decided, look, I think that I would like to start sharing this with other people and everything that I'm learning and everything that I know. And I thought that, you know, that would be the idea, that I would start to become a practitioner. And when I started out, I had no idea what the hell that looked like, honestly. No idea. I didn't even know how to get a client. I had no idea, you know, if I should be renting a room as a Reiki practitioner, as a crystal healer. I was studying coaching at the time, and I was just really, really unsure about where to go next. And I didn't feel like, I don't know if you guys can also resonate with this, but I didn't feel like there was much support out there. You kind of get your certificate and then you're like on your own. And it's like, I'm coming from a corporate job where I just show up, do my work, and I get paid. And now I've got to think about, how am I going to get clients? Like, how do I promote myself and all of that sort of stuff. So I was really lucky because I had, you know, I studied marketing and I had this background in understanding all about how to communicate with people and client experiences and all of that sort of stuff. It was a completely different industry, but I kind of had the idea and you know, of what I should be sort of doing and how I should be showing up. So I was able to apply those things. But apart from that, I couldn't sell a thing. I was really petrified of trying to sell my services. I was also really sensitive. So in 2014, I had my very first client. I answered a post on Facebook in like a mum's group, and a lady said, "Does anyone do Reiki?" And I thought, "Fuck, I'm gonna say yes, I do it." I've never seen a client before, but I'm just gonna say that I do it. I've got my level 2 certificate. Just take a punt. And I wrote to her, wrote on the comment. I said, "I do. I'll message you." And I messaged her and said, "Oh, I do mobile Reiki, and I'm available these days," and and just trying to sound like I was really knew what I was doing, right? And then she responded and said, "Great, can you come on Saturday?" I was like, "Fuck." I actually have no idea what I'm doing. I had a table, which was a good start. I had some crystals, which is another good start. I knew that I kind of wanted her to feel how I sort of wanted her to feel. I'd been to see lots of practitioners myself, so I sort of started thinking about what I liked about them, what I didn't like about them, and started really putting that all together. And I did so much planning for that one session. I was like, this is either going to make or break my career. I sort of put all that pressure on myself. And so I showed up at her house. I was shaking. I was absolutely shaking. And that is not a good look when you're trying to open a massage table and you've got someone asking, "Do you want a cup of tea? Oh, so how long have you been doing?" Like she's asking me all these questions. And here I am just like, "Oh my God, oh, my heart's beating out of my chest. I can't even hear what she's saying." And I managed to get it open, to get my crystals out, and waving around the Palo Santo, like I totally knew what I was doing to create a beautiful space for her, right? And then she got on the table. I had an eye pillow, and I was like, "Oh, the music, shit, the music," put some music on, and she just laid there, and I just kind of let it go, let everything out of my head, and I just came back to, "Oh, actually, I'm just going to do what I've been doing, and just go with it, and forget that she's a client, and forget that I'm being paid, and forget all of that sort of stuff, and just really get out of my head." And it was amazing. It was such a beautiful experience, and she loved it. But at the end, she asked me if I picked up anything, and I just started bawling my eyes out and said, "Oh my God, it was just so beautiful. You're so loved, and I can really feel how loved you are and supported." And I just crying like an absolute mess. And I realized then that, okay, it is nice to have empathy and to be able to be sensitive to other people's energy, but I knew that that was a barrier. That was definitely something that I had to work on. Is I need to hold space for clients. They don't need to hold space for me, right? So, so because she was fine, she's like, yeah, thanks. That's really. So that was my first ever experience, and it was completely not what I expected, or what I wanted. But I really think about it like your first kiss or something, right? It doesn't always go as you planned, and like it does in the movies, but you just got to get it done and get over it, and then keep moving on. And it's the same, I think, until you start really finding your groove. Honestly, that's what this is. You're going to get to a point where it just works for you, right? You know what music you like to use. You know how you want to talk to your clients. You know what tools you want to use. You know how you want to dress. You know what you want to, the experience that you want them to have. Like that all just becomes really clear for you the more that you practice. And so my, my biggest takeaway from starting out was just, I know it's really scary, but you just got to do it. Like there, and a lot of the time, we can get really caught up in waiting for perfection and waiting for things to be right, and oh, I need to do another course, or I need to do this, or I need to learn that. And the reality is that you're going to evolve all the time. You're constantly going to evolve, and so is your business. So just start now wherever you're at, and just trust that now is the perfect time, and that the people that you're going to attract right now are exactly the people that need you, exactly where you're at as well. I cringe when I think about that first session, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could go back and show her how good I am now, like, if only I could show her, right? But she needed me as I was that day. We both needed each other, actually. We really needed each other. We needed one another. And so just really trusting and honoring wherever you're at, that's really, really important. And one thing that I've really learned to embrace and let go of is I'm not waiting until I'm any better or, no more or anything like that. In fact, I'm just really enjoying where I'm at right now, and I'm enjoying the ride. And that's something that I'd love for you guys to take on board as well, is just really enjoy wherever you're at and just embrace that. So that's a little bit about my story, how I started, but it wasn't actually so I dabbled a little bit here and there. I didn't do, when I say dabbled, like I hardly saw clients. That was like one in, I think I took 3 months before I got my confidence to go back and see another client. I really dabbled for a little while, and I didn't actually start seeing clients professionally or make the decision that I was all in, like this is what I wanted to do, until March 2017. So that was a long time, right? And in the meantime, I was just trying to make things work in my career, thinking that, oh, it's not the right project, or this is wrong and the boss is wrong, or and trying to make excuses for why my career wasn't actually going where I wanted it to go, or making me feel fulfilled the way that I wanted to. And all of that was just me trying to hide, right? Trying to hide the fact that my true desire was that I wanted to be doing something more, that I wanted to be sharing my gift. Now, how many of you feel like you started out on your spiritual journey and your self-development journey, and just kind of feel like you've fallen into this? Like you never really thought you'd be doing this as a career, but it's just kind of unfold. Yeah, that was exactly me. Same thing, right? I started out and I was like, oh yeah, I'm just enjoying the unraveling of my own journey. But then I did get to a point where I was like, all right, shut up, universe. I get it. Like I need to be sharing this, and I need to be doing this with the world. So really honoring that pull, that's really important, because it doesn't go away. You can try to shut it down as much as you want, but it does not go away. So really honoring that, and just, allowing yourself when the time feels right to actually step up and step into it. Now let's talk about when the time is right, because it's really right now, right? It's right now. So as I said, just honoring wherever you're at, and making sure that you feel that you get to a point where you can actually take that leap of faith now and step into it now. The thing is that we can get really held back by fear and limiting beliefs and, all that self-talk about why it's not the right time. The reality is it's just excuses. There are always excuses. Oh, my kids are too little, or I'm really busy at work. My focus is me right now. Like all of this, I could go on. I've heard it all. I've absolutely heard it all. And what it comes down to is you're not feeling like it's the right time. You're scared. You're shit scared, because underneath all that excuse is just, probably little you going, shit, I'm not good enough, or I don't know enough, or I'll never be like that, or how am I going to make money? Or it's the old stories that you've probably adopted from family, right? Or culture, saying that's not real work, and how can you make money from that? Oh God, I remember I was told all of that. I was told I was never going to make money from doing Reiki. I was also told, I also had someone tell me that I shouldn't be charging for this work. Told me I should just be doing this out of, the goodness of my heart. That's what this sort of work, light work, is. It should be just, something that you do from your heart, which I find hilarious, because hey, I've got to eat too. Like, I've got things to pay for too. I've got to live too. So I find that idea hilarious. And the fact that people think that you can't make money from it as well is also incredible, because hey, it's 2020 and people make money from anything these days. You can be, you know, an Instagrammer who like just talks about different colored lipstick, and you're making lots of money every year. Like, people make money from anything and everything these days. So if you're having these stories of what about me, or I can't do it, or all of those limitations, it's really important that you understand all of this stuff and that you catch it. Because when I'm going to go into some of the tips and stuff, but one of my biggest tips here is your business is your opportunity to have an extraordinary healing tool. It'll show up all the stuff that you don't want to show up, right? Because when you have a block outside of you, there is 100% of the time a block inside of you. And I'll talk more about that in a minute as well. So I wanted to talk through the building the foundations, which is really an important part of creating a thriving business. So, and again, they're going to evolve. These things are going to evolve. So I just want you to do what feels right now. Okay? What feels good for you right now. And I want you to not try to focus on expansion here, and not try to focus on, you know, the largest thing possible, but it's really about getting clear and having a clear focus on these things. So the first one is really getting clear on your why, and your why, not my why, and not the person next to you or the person you did your course with or anything like that, or even your coach or mentor or your hero. It's not about that. You really want to get clear on your why, and coming back to what is in alignment for you and your soul purpose. You will get insights into this because you will feel like you're drawn to help certain types of people. You'll feel like, oh, I just love talking about this. Like, I love talking about this, right? I could do this all day. I could talk to you guys all day about, you know, how trying to step into your light work and how to do that. That is, for me, this really lights me up. So you guys find something that also lights you up. And I knew that for me, I love talking about and sharing about Reiki and crystals. You know, that stuff really always lit me up. And I knew that's what I was here to do. So find something that really feels like, this is my gift. This is what I'm here to do. Don't focus on the hows and all the details and all that kind of stuff. I just want you to focus on the overarching, which is your why and the soul purpose. This is so important because it underpins everything. When you start scrolling on social media and you get lost in what, you know, Joe Blogs is doing and you know, all the stuff that they're succeeding at, and you just need to come back to you and your center and your higher self, which is your purpose and your why, and come back to what's real and what's true for you. That's really, really important. Once you have that worked out, the next thing that you need to really focus on is, who do you want to serve? Who do you want to serve? Because you can't serve everyone. I know I hear this so many times, but I don't know. I feel like I can help everyone. No, I'm telling you, you can't help everyone. You can't help 7.58 billion people in the world. There's a lot of people in the world, and I'm telling you, you're not here to serve them all. That is not your purpose. Your purpose is to help a small audience of people, right? And they're going to help you create a thriving business. They're going to help you. This small group of people are going to help you to create a really thriving business. And the reason why that really doesn't resonate with a lot of people when they hear that is because they think, yeah, but how am I going to make lots of money? I need lots of people. And the thing is, you don't need lots of people. You just need to come back to your purpose and what you want to be known for, what you feel is your strength and what you're an expert in. And you want to be able to attract those particular people. And there's going to be a whole heap of people that fall outside of that you're not there to serve, that someone else is there to help them through that. And just honoring that again, honoring, you know, where you are at this particular moment in time. If you're wanting to inspire a lot of people, you can create a really successful business, and on the side, you can write a book or have a podcast, or, you know, you can do other things to help serve millions and millions and billions of people. But if you actually want to create a really thriving business, you need to get really clear on what you're going to be really good at and how you can help them. Because I'll put it to you in a simplified way. The people that you want to help have problems, right? They have problems. And you need to find a way to solve them. That's your purpose. That's your service offering, right? So when you think about what are my service offerings? What are my gifts? How can I put them all together? That's how you do it. You put it together by understanding who these people are, what their problem is, what their issue is, what their challenges are. And then you create something that's going to help to solve that problem. Whether that be through kinesiology or, Reiki or crystals or whatever it might be, or coaching, this is going to be your thing, right? That and you're going to get really, really granular about how you do that as well. I'm not just Reiki for this type of person. For everyone, I'm Reiki for this type of person. For mums who are burnt out, that kind of thing. You need to come up with something that really speaks to one particular group of people, if that makes sense. So when you are, and this will underpin a lot of the strategy that comes along with creating the type of business that you want. So for example, social media content. I always get asked, how do I get in, how do you feel inspired about social media content? I'm so clear on who I'm talking to every day. That's how I know what to say. Whereas if I was trying to help everyone and anyone, I don't know what to say either. God, everyone's got millions of different problems. I don't know how to help those people. I don't know how to help middle-aged men who are divorced. I don't know how to do that. I don't work with men. I don't even work with, that's not even my specialty when it comes to women, right? I don't know how to support a woman like that. You've got to get really clear on what it is, what you want to help people with, and see how that can just really answer a lot of the questions like, what's my branding going to look like? Where should I be located? What's my pricing? All of those answers will be able to be, they can be discovered by just coming back to who you want to serve and how you're going to do it. And that's how you can create your service offerings as well. Also thinking about how you want your client to think, to feel, and to act, and really how you can cultivate that for them. That's what coming back to when you're creating service offerings as well. The other thing is not to focus on time so much and attributing a time to a money factor like pricing. I see so many light workers getting their head about, okay, well, I don't want to, I'll only offer like 30 minutes because that'll be cheaper than 60 minutes, and that'll be like, they get really in their head and caught up in the pricing and being paid per minute. I don't think your gift is at per minute value. I think you need to start charging for the actual impact that you're having. What's the lifetime impact that you're actually having on someone, right? If that's a mum who is burnt out and you're able to help her not feel like that, how does she put a monetary value on waking up every morning and feeling amazing and having energy for her kids and for herself and to be able to live the way that she wants to live, right? When you start thinking about your gifts in that way, that you transform people's lives, that you actually make a difference to someone's life, it's very hard then to think about it as per minute or per, the time value. It's not just about that. So I want you to get out of trying to attribute your time with a number. That's not how it works. It's not how pricing works. And we'll talk a little bit more about pricing in a moment as well. Just curious, how many of you struggle with pricing? Yeah. Really common, really common. Okay, so they're like my three foundations, right? So that the why, the sole purpose, who you want to serve, and how to create the offering. So creating those, it's really the next thing that we're going to look at is I'm going to share actual tips now as well. So I talked earlier about your business is a healing tool. And when there's a block outside, there's a block inside. Now, I can tell you this 100% of the time. 100% of the time. If clients aren't coming in, people aren't signing up for an event, whatever it might be, it's always something going on within. And my go-to, this is my, one of my behaviors that one of these habits that I'm in is, I need to fix something. So I need to do more, right? So, maybe it's the message wasn't right, or maybe the price is wrong, or I get into fixing mode, trying to solve the problem. Why aren't people coming in? So my tip for you is don't do, but be. So go within. When you're feeling a block, there's something going on within you. There's a block within you. And some of the things that I find are really common here, so some of the real common blocks. The first one is worth and value. So if you are not feeling like you're worth it, right? And there's any kind of self-doubt in who you are and what you're doing and your gifts and all that sort of stuff and how you're showing up, I promise you that energy is mirrored outside of your business as well, all the time. When I'm feeling really low and flat and feeling like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, or this doesn't feel right, or that energy is outside of you. Like, I know most of you work with energy, like you understand this, right? You understand that energy does not lie, and it absolutely doesn't. So, my tip for you is you need to work on that shit all the time. You need to be committed 100% to working on your vibration and making sure that it is high, all the time. You need to be working on it. And as soon as that stuff comes up for you, you need to be allowing yourself time to process and work through things. You really need to. You have to be conscious of your vibration. And the other thing is you want your clients to show up, right, and work on themselves. You want them to commit to working on themselves. That's why they're coming to see you, right? Well, if you're not showing up like that, how do you expect to attract people? You want to commit to themselves as well. So you need to be putting the energy out that you want to attract into your business. It's really, really important. The next one is control. So many of us have issues with just being able to trust and surrender, right? Being able to trust and let go and just let go and trust that everything is happening as it needs to, and all of that kind of stuff. And I found this really hard, and I still find it really hard sometimes. I still feel like I'm in control, and I need to. The biggest lesson I learned. I learned this it took me a couple of years to learn this one, which was really trusting that the universe has a calendar for me. Does anyone know what I'm talking about here? Yeah, my God. Like, I used to really try to control it, and I got so upset every time someone would cancel. But at the same time, I was also upset that I had a full day. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I book in 6 clients today? I know that I don't like this. Tomorrow I'm going to be horrible, and I need to spend the whole day at the beach grounding. That's how bad it is. But then if one of them cancelled, I'm like, oh my God, I feel rejected. I'm not good enough. I'm not, So really just honoring that the universe knows. It knows when you need a break. It knows when you need to spend more time maybe in your business rather than on your business and serving clients. It knows better than you do. And so again, just allowing that trust to come through and just surrender and let go, and really, really allowing yourself that just to vibe in that, right? That's a really, really good one. The next one is scarcity and lack. So often when we are in fear-based thoughts, right, we are just attracting more of it. It always happens. So examples of this is, I don't have enough time, getting into that thought, I don't have enough time. I'm not good enough. when you're in comparison mode or competition mode, you're worrying about what other people are doing. Here's a tip for you guys. Who cares? Who the fuck cares what anyone else is doing? They're not you. I'm telling you right now. In fact, there is no comparison. You're not selling knives, okay? And this isn't like, their knife is better than our knife, and let's get caught up in that and worrying about pricing of our knives and worrying about the packaging and all that sort of stuff. You guys are selling your gift. You're sharing your gift. That's what you're doing. And the more that you honor that you are unique, your gifts are unique, you're here for a sole purpose, and you need to share that, and just stepping into that vibration of being loved and supported and guided, that is so much different than sitting there and feeling all the comparison and the negativity that comes with competition. There is no room for competition in my business. I just, as soon as I feel it, and even in the slightest, I'm like, no, I'm not going there, because I know it's all story. It's nonsense. There's no space for it. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. You need to be able, you also need to be able to show up. And if you do hear about someone doing something, or see someone else doing something, honoring that too. That's amazing. Look what they're doing for humanity. Look what they're doing for the collective. That's incredible. And you can be inspired by things. That's great. Get inspired. Oh, that's such a great idea. I wonder how something similar might work for me. And I've done that so many times. I've been inspired by other industries all the time. Like, oh, that sounds like a really good program. I wonder how I could use something similar, that kind of structure, or that kind of, the way that they've presented it, or how could I apply it for my people? How could I do that? And that's got nothing to do with, stealing someone's ideas, or worrying about, it's all this scarcity mindset. It's how can I make it work for me? Because we're all here to share and to raise the collective, right? So it's really about getting into that and honoring that. Plus, you do have your own gifts, and you need to find a way to make it work for you. You need to do you. Basically, that's what it comes down to, is really just doing you and being really comfortable in that as well, in who you are. Because when we're in lack, when we're in scarcity, in our low self-worth, feeling not good enough, all that sort of stuff, that's when you get hit hard. Whereas when we're empowered and when we feel really positive and confident, that shit doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You see things with different eyes, right? Remember, everything is a mirror. Everything's reflecting exactly what's going on within you, that perception. So do the work that you need to do in order to come out and see things the way that you need to see them as well. The attachment to outcomes is another one in this scarcity and lack. And that's things like really feeling attached to the money, or really feeling attached to the number of clients and the number of, people coming to your event or something like that. Always being attached. Remember, this comes back to trust and surrender, knowing that, everything is accessible to me. Everything is waiting for me and accessible to me. Abundance, right, is always accessible. It is just a choice I'm making. It's not just a mental choice, but it is a vibrational choice. So what can I do right now to get myself out of that vibration and into that vibration? That's what it really comes back to. The other real common block I find is boundaries and disempowerment. So I find all the time, if I've got issues with boundaries, for example, they'll show up in my business 100%. One of the things I really struggled with at the start was keeping to time, right? Really keeping, oh my God, I just wanted to give, right? I could, So, you know, I have a session, oh, it's 60 minutes, right? And, you know, it's this much money, 60 minutes or whatever. And then I'd be there for like, oh shit, it's 15 minutes over. It's half an hour over. And I remember I had this client at the start, and oh my God, she'd always push my boundaries. She would just stay and talk and talk. And I just sat there and I was like, and hating it, right? The resentment and you know, I just know that she was this amazing gift for me. She was this beautiful gift at the beginning when I started out, because I needed to learn about setting those boundaries and having really clear boundaries when it comes to time management. And I also realized it's not about me, it's about them as well, right? Like I've promised you guys, today is 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. That's it. Whereas if I sat here and went on for another hour, you'd be shitty at me because you're like, I only blocked out an hour. I've got to pick up the kids, or I've got to do this, I've got to do that. You know, we're all busy. We're all busy. We don't just have time to have a cup of tea all afternoon and talk about all these wonderful things, even though I would love to. But we do. And that comes back to setting those boundaries. And it's remembering that it's not just about you, but it's about them. The other really important thing about going over as well is not just in terms of not honoring their time as well, but also sometimes you give too much. There's too much information for the client to actually comprehend. They're not taking it in anyway. So you're actually just wasting time. You're confusing them. You're, you know, not really doing much to really help them on their journey, but you're just making it really overwhelming. So really keeping it simple in the time that you've allocated. It's really, really important. It's really important for also for that as well. So boundaries is a big one. Another thing is taking advice from people who don't matter. Oh, my mum told me this, my neighbour told me this, and the man at the fruit shop told me that. And you know, I'm telling you now, if they're not someone who is a potential client or not someone who you look up to or has followed their dreams and has done what you're doing, don't listen to them, because it just makes you feel like crap all the time. And if you also put yourself in those positions where you are listening to them, that's also going to disempower you, right? And it comes back to boundaries as well. Don't need that. You absolutely don't need that. Okay. So a few more tips for you as well. The next one is let your intuition always guide you. Now I know you're probably going, yeah, of course, no shit. But honestly, I can't say this enough. Let your intuition always guide you, because when you're in soul alignment, you're not driven by fear and scarcity. And your decisions are not made out of fear and scarcity, right? They're made out of trust and abundance and love and support and all of that. And that's what you want to bring into your business. So you really need to let your intuition always guide you. So be fiercely connected to it. And just know if something doesn't sit right, it's not right. You don't need to try and and ah about it. It's different if you are not sure about the how, right? And the details and the strategy and stuff like that. And that really leads us into the next point, which is you are your best business advisor, but it's a really good idea to have support systems around you to help you with the mentoring, with the coaching, with, you know, guiding, helping you to guide you through making the business decisions. Because sometimes, yes, on this higher level, I know what's right, but I'm not really sure on the how. And that's where I get caught up a lot. So for me, I know it's really important. And from about 4 months into my business, I knew straight away I needed to hire a coach, and I've always had coaches and support systems around me. You know, it's really, really important. And it's not about, you know, worrying about, the other thing that I really want to say about this is it's not about worrying about the investment in terms of, oh, this is going to cost me this much money to have this particular support person. Really, I want you to start thinking about the money it's going to make you, right? Like if I actually have this type of person by my side in my business, I'm not going to make those mistakes that are going to cost me this much time or this much money. It's actually going to help me, and it's going to help me get clear on what it is that I need to do, or what it is, how I need to upskill, or how I need to up level, and all of that kind of stuff. So many of us again get caught up in, oh, but I don't have the money, or I don't have that. And trust me, I am not one to say to you, go out of your way to get a loan or credit card and that sort of stuff. I've never believed in that. But I do believe that if you have a block towards investing in yourself, it's very hard for you to attract people to try to invest in themselves, right? It's really hard to do that. The other thing is work on that block. Work on that block so you start getting into a state of abundance and knowing that the money is coming, that you are supported. And if you feel like you need to work with that particular person or do that course or whatever it is that you need to do, join that group coaching, whatever it might be, I want you to work on attracting that rather than, trying to do, right? It comes back to going within and how can I actually attract that and work on the abundance rather than sitting there and going, oh, how can I get the money? How can I get the money, right? Which is sometimes what we can get into as well. Don't want you to think like that. Just come back to trust and come back to love and really just that abundance. So such a different vibration, and it really, all the time, it always works. It is just money. It is just money, and it is available to you whenever you need it and whenever you want it. Abundance is something that is our birthright. And if you have a block here around it, you just need to work through it. You absolutely need to work through it. It's going to help you in all areas of your business. When it comes to pricing and those sorts of things, charging your worth. And this isn't so bad when you're starting out because you feel really comfortable in terms of my lower price bracket is going to match my level of experience and that sort of thing. But as you continue on, there comes a time where you're like, shit, I'm so much more experienced now. I'm leveled up so much in my own self-development. Like I am totally rocking this and I'm transforming people's lives, and I'm still charging, $50 an hour or something like that, or whatever it might be. So then you get resentment, and then you start hating seeing people, and you're like, fuck this, I'm not making any money. I'm just going to go back to get a job. Where it's just as easy and and I don't have to worry about all this stuff, and I don't feel bad about not charging my work. So really you're going to have to work on that stuff. You can't get away from it. Cannot get away from it, I promise you. Okay. And the next one that I just wanted to talk to you guys about is in terms of you are your best business advisor, I want you to really think about, what does success mean for you? I want you all to write that down. What does success mean for you? Because it's going to mean different things for different people. And again, when you are not in alignment with you, your higher self, your soul self, you're going to get really caught up in the jargon and the crap that goes around, that's flown around by a lot of business coaches and a lot of, a lot of salespeople and that sort of stuff, and a lot of other practitioners as well, and a lot of other light workers. And that's things like, you should be booked out. God, I hate that phrase. I hate that terminology. Booked out. I have to tell you, the other day I had a client of mine, and I couldn't reschedule her. She had to cancel her appointment, and she asked, could we reschedule this week? And I wrote back to her and I said, I really can't this week. I'm full. And she wrote back, woohoo, you're booked out. And I had to laugh, and I was like, she's starting out in her practice, and I was like, we are so working on this next session, because she's obviously heard that, right? Oh, you've got to be booked out. It sounds like that's what I've got to aim for, booked out. Booked out means different stuff to different people, right? I can tell you, when I started out, I I had this number, this magical number of 10 people. I wanted to have 10 clients, and then 10 clients a week. And I thought, when I reach 10 clients, I'm going to quit my job. Can I tell you, I had 10 clients, then I had 11, 12, 15, and then I was still working. It's never enough. Booked out is whatever you want it to be, right? There is no such thing as booked out. Booked out can be, I work 1 day a week and the rest I'm booked out with my family and doing things that I love. And, not seeing clients every single day and grinding. Like, that feels so icky to me, grinding every day and hustling because I'm booked out with, and it's not about that. So come up with success for you. What does booked out mean for you? I know I can tell you now, booked out for me is not 10 clients. Booked out for me is clients. It's doing some kind of thing like this to fill my cup as well and give back and share my gifts and things like that. It's also spending enough time with my girls and with my husband and also doing things for myself. It's having time for self-care. It's about putting those boundaries in place. It's having time to spend time outside, to exercise, to look after myself and cook so I can nourish myself on all levels. It's not running around stressed out and burning out like I did at the start. That, I'm telling you, there's no way I want to be booked out anymore. And I don't want you guys to think about that either. It's such a shitty terminology. But you come up with, what do you want life to look like for you? What's your ideal week look like? One of my clients came to me and she said, these workshops aren't working out. I'm trying to create these workshops and they're just not, I can't get it to work and I'm not really sure what I'm doing anymore. And I used to run them last year. They don't feel right anymore. And she's trying to, really, she's really in the detail and really in the how. And I got her to do this exercise and I said to her, to come, just tell me your ideal day. I want you to describe it. What are you doing? And she reeled off all these things. She said, I wake up in the morning, I get the kids ready for school, I take them to school, I come home, and then I see 3 clients, and then I have time to go to the gym, and then we do school pickup, and then have dinner, and then I have great sex with my husband, and then I go to sleep. And that was her ideal day. And I said, you didn't put workshops in that day. And she went, oh yeah. I don't really want to do workshops anymore. So we can get so caught up in the detail and the how and just come out of it. Come out and come back, return back to soul, right? What do you really want? What do you really, really want? Because this is your opportunity to create that. Otherwise, let's go back to the job, right? Go back to the job. Why are you doing this if you're not going to be living a life that you really, really want to create? And the other one in there is also the 10K month. Have any of you guys heard of this? 10K month. When I hear that one as well, same sort of thing. Oh, you've got to be earning, 10K a month. Like that's the idea. Again, same thing. Who made this like the ideal number? Like, and for some people it's going to be less, and for some people it's going to be more. There is no level of success we should be measuring against. No number, in my mind, no number equates to your value or your worth. And no number means that you're succeeding. Nothing. So it shouldn't even be in your, that shouldn't be. It should much more be about how you're feeling. So, there are some days where you are able to see more clients, and there are some weeks when you're not. I can tell you now, if it's the week of of my bleed, I am not great with seeing lots of clients. I am tired. I just want to focus on me more and my family, and I just kind of want to laze around. I'm happy to see a couple of clients, you know what I mean? And I want it to be really easy and flow. And then my week of ovulation, oh my God, I'm on fire. I'm like creative. And I know that's my output week. I know that, and that's how I really align my business is is when I'm feeling better, when I'm feeling uplifted and creative, that's when I'm going to do all this sort of work. And then when I'm feeling a little bit more subdued or relaxed or needing that nourishing time for myself, I'm going to honor that as well. And I know sometimes we can't always show up that way, and that's okay. But in as much as you can, try to, because it's really about coming back to remember protecting your energy, raising your vibration. It's all of that stuff. You are the one who are going to create a thriving business, right? So you need to be really careful about where your energy output is going and how you can come back to feeling empowered and come back to your center and in alignment as well. The last thing that I just wanted to talk about as well is that when I talk about alignment, I also want you guys to really think about what alignment feels like compared to fear. Because sometimes people get caught up in, it doesn't feel right, it's not in alignment, doesn't resonate. But what they're really saying is, I'm shit scared. I'm actually scared to do that. I don't feel ready. And again, so I want you to honor the difference. Like, what is actually the difference between the two? That's really, really important as well. So they're all basically my tips for you guys, and the foundations. So we have a little bit of, look at that, we've got 8 minutes for questions. If any of you would like to ask anything or know anything, I'm more than happy to answer anything.
Can I ask, Loretta? Excuse the baby in the background. Do you find that you, in regards to like attracting clients, do you find that you attract clients through social media as well as like I've heard a lot of, that you should be out talking to people, and obviously that's really hard at the moment because we're not supposed to be really doing too much, but like there's a lot of different theories, but how do you find that you attract clients?
Yeah, I should say that, in the first year, I was just wherever I could be, basically. I was like doing markets, and I talked about the fact that I hated selling. That was I knew that was something that I was going to need to work on to be in business. I was like, you can't have a business if you don't like selling. Like, how do you? It's just about reframing that stuff, right? Like, oh, it's not selling, it's sharing my offer, and people need to know about my offer so I can help them and all that sort of stuff. So that's a block for you. You've got to work on that. But for me, it was, okay, I need to actually get confident in talking and sharing my offer. So like, I used to go to markets. I didn't really have much to sell, to be honest. I bought a few crystals, and I used to make up some little packs and things like that. But it wasn't my thing. Like, I knew that I didn't want to be a crystal seller or something like that, but it was just for me to have a presence and an opportunity to talk to people. So really, I was just there in terms of branding and getting my name out and just feeling comfortable telling people about who I am and what I do and stuff like that. That was really hard for me. I had to break through a lot of judgment of, oh, what are people going to think? I'm doing something weird, or especially my friends and family. I felt really strange about telling them that I was going to be a healer. What the fuck? Like, a healer? Like, it's all a bit weird. So I had to break through all those barriers, and so I would just go out and just do things. I did a few small markets, and then and did like local stuff, like I started running a women's circle. I'd never even been to a women's circle. I just thought that I would start connecting. I knew that I wanted to connect people together, and I knew that there must be other women like me who want to connect. So I just started running one. And it ended up being an incredible experience. And I did it for 2 years until I had my second baby. And it was a beautiful way for me to also earn the trust and rapport with other people, and a few of them all became either clients or students of mine, which was really beautiful. And they also tell their friends, and things like that. Also just collaborating. So local yoga studio, or a local, I got together, I remember, with a woman who was doing like doTERRA oils, and we did a collaboration together, and someone else was doing like a health and wellness day of, you know, a lady who owned a local women's clothes shop. So I just kind of went anywhere, and I was just like saying yes to a lot of stuff. And these days I don't say yes to a lot of stuff because I don't have to. Honestly, I can be a lot more pickier with my stuff. Plus, I know my niche as well. I really know who I'm here for. Whereas I was figuring all of that out at the start. Just as, you know, I expect a lot of you guys to still be figuring it out. And I don't think that's a problem. I think that's absolutely fine. You've got time to figure it out. But when you do decide, you can go all hell for leather, right? You can go, yeah, this is the only sort of people that I want to work with. But for now, I'm just kind of dabbling and seeing, yeah, I like working with these people or that people, those people, and just seeing and getting a feel for it. It's also just experience, to be honest. It's experience talking, it's experience getting yourself out there, sharing your story, because you know what? If you can have an opportunity to share your story like 50 times, then you can you know, you get really confident in being able to share it, so you're not going to be umming and ahhing and you feel nervous and afraid and all that sort of stuff. So it's really just about finding opportunities to build up those skills that you need. So and if it's social media, yeah, I found I think I was a little bit probably luckier, because when I started out, social media probably wasn't as hard, whereas now it's, you know, the competition, it's a lot of competition. It's really hard to get followers. But I also think the great thing about that is that, you know, you don't need a lot of followers, just like you don't need to talk to everyone. So it's the same thing. I think just knowing that in your audience is going to be the perfect people that you need to want to work with you, and just really focusing on that rather than focusing on, oh, I don't have a million followers, or, you know, whatever it might be. Just really focusing on the audience that you do have and providing them with value, and really talking to them and providing them with the value that they expect from you as well. And they'll keep showing up and keep supporting you. And one day, just one day, they might feel like they trust you enough to buy from you. It takes a long time, though. It takes a long time. Yeah. Hopefully that helps answer your question. Cool. All right. Did anyone have any more questions? Good. Cool. Okay. Wow, it was so lovely to spend the lunchtime with you on a Friday. And I will send through the recording as well. And I'll send through some, if any of you are interested in working with me some more, I'll send through some of that information as well. But other than that, I just really wish you all the best, and really hope that you get the confidence that you need and take that leap of faith to really step into and make this work for you, because you're fucking worthy of it. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. I can feel all your amazing vibration from here, and you know, it's so good. It's really good that you're even on this call, and the courage to even think about doing this. It's really, really powerful stuff. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.